Once, Sir Edmund Hillary, the man who climbed Mount Everest. But you may know that before he climbed, he failed many, many times. And every time he failed, he will ask these questions. How can I get better? What different thing can I do by which one day I'll be able to climb that mountain? Like this, one fine day while he was sitting in his room in the afternoon, he looked at the painting of the Mount Everest and told the Mount Everest, you, the mountain, does not have the capacity to learn, to change, to adopt, and to grow. But I, the human being, has the capacity to change, to adopt, and grow. And he said, no matter how many times I fall, I will get up. And one fine day, I will be on top of you. Isn't it the case with all of us? All of us are blessed with this innate ability to grow, to learn, to adopt. And I think that's been our mantra at Swipe as well since our inception, which was in late July 2012, wherein how can we work with our customers, our fans, our stakeholders in the systems, take their inputs and be super agile. I think there are many people sitting here in the audience, they can vouch for our agility when it comes to executing the work, executing the project. And I think that's been really important because taking the inputs, plugging it back in product development, product design, and bringing the best of the best products, and keep on improving back to back, and keep on giving blockbuster launches. So we saw a quick journey of Swipe. Today, we are going to be present here for a different reason. But before that, let me spend a couple of minutes and give you a high-level scoop of what Swipe is all about. Swipe is a leading device company to have its own hardware design, software design, and also soon to have our manufacturing, which is near Pune in Chakan. We are the first Indian brand to come up with our own operating system on top of Android, a complete layer, user layer on top of Android, not only about the layer, but also many apps and the services which we have built, which I'll be talking about it in a bit. What are the key highlights? Today we have more than 1.5 million happy customers. We have launched many India's first to be. We started our journey with India's first 3D tablet. Then we launched many India's first to be, whether it is tablets or the smartphone. When it comes to adopting technology, bringing it in reality, I think Swipe has been at the has been the front runner there. Have launched together 40 tablets, 23 smartphones. Our focus has been the range of $65 to $230 kind of a price point. We really believe that Indian market, so if you really focus, whether it is feature phone or smartphone, I'm sure all of you know, though we are almost clocking 1 billion subscribers now, we look at mobile handset market, it is almost 20 million devices per month. Out of that, 6 to 8 million devices are smartphone. And what is interesting here is more than 60% of them is a $100 price point. That's really a very, very important thing. Another thing, we started our journey as a tablet and established ourselves as a dominant player there. Today we have 7.8% pan-India market share, and at least in 20% of the states, number one when it comes to the volume of the tablets sold in India. Not only this, but when it comes to another big strength of Swipe has been a very, very strong strategic partnership. So whether it is MTV, which is again a youth-centric brand, Swipe and MTV coming together and co-creating devices. Whether it is Uber, wherein partnering it together and launching our products through their app, which we did it last time for Elite 2. And the third and the other major partnership for us has been, which we have really believed is it's all about working together closely and leveraging each other's strength, has been Flipkart. Because I think our strength remains on product tech innovation, their strength remains on data, analytics, and the consumer behavior. And this is how we are able to create a very, very interesting partnership and a seamless marriage. We have been awarded as the most innovation-driven brand, given the number of innovative launches and many India's first to be by World Brand Congress. These are three major pillars of Swipe, which I'm going to talk about. First is the strong brand creation, second is the operating system, and third is the online presence. When it comes to the brand, we have Priyanka Chopra as our brand ambassador or as a brand face. When it comes to the operating system, we already talked about it. We introduced India's first completely homegrown, in true sense, make in India operating system, which is called as Freedom OS. And why name Freedom OS? I will be talking about it in a bit. And the third one has been very interesting, wherein we all believe that as a brand, the biggest and the fastest reach, which channel today can give? Either you be in offline space, takes many, many years, or you adopt to emerging channels like the online, which can give us the scale and the reach very, very fast. And you will see in next few slides the kind of footprints we have for our elite customer base across the country. You will be pleasantly delighted. So we started our journey with three major offerings. The Elite was the first one, which we launched on August 15. Then we launched Elite 2, which was in November 2015. And this is very recent, which is a 3 GB product, 5.5-inch device, HD 4G device, 3 GB of RAM, and this was launched on 26th of April, again on Flipkart. All of these offering has been exclusively on Flipkart. With the 3 GB RAM, this offer went live at 7,999. Elite series, what is more important is, I think we are one of the brands who really believe in the feedback and the data and the analytics. So for Elite as a series, we have already more than 1.6 lakh customers, which are spread over 738 cities. So small towns, small cities across the country has also seen Elite reaching it out. What is interesting here is the fact that that is the beauty of online or a digital space, because you get so much of data. Our number of units shipped to number of orders punched, that ratio today is more than 1.6, which means one person is buying more than one phone. And that can only happen if the product has its own innate strength. And this is going viral through word of mouth. We have been very regular when it comes to OTA updates. Once a month, we have been releasing updates, trying to give more and more and newer features, whatever we are doing to those 1.6 lakh customers. Across the cities, we last time again we had bunch of us has met up in Antisocial in Hoskas, whether it is Bangalore, whether it is Hyderabad, whether it is Mumbai. We've been doing many meetups, whether it is meetups with our friends, meetup with friends, bloggers community, tech fraternity, and really kind of try and engage with each other. What is the best which we can create? Because leverage each other's strengths. So that's been another major strength what Soip has had, which is very, very involved when it comes to consumer. And the last one is the crowdsourced product design development. A lot of our offerings are the outcome of your own feedback. And I think some of you sitting here again can vouch for it, that whether it is as simple as changing the back panel of the device to something which does not get fingerprint, or it is about creating a device or creating an OS which has got a cloud storage app which has got 100 GB of cloud storage. Many, many things actually have come from you. So I think in that sense, we thank our users as well as our fan followings and the friends for all the product design and the development. What's our demographic? So we actually looked at the dissection of the whole Elite series database and did this research and found out who are these people, what do they watch, where do they hang out, what's their age group, are they student, are these guys working, are they professionals, what is that they are doing? And the outcome is the following, they are predominantly, this is 80% of the Elite consumer base, which is 18 to 30 in terms of age group. 70% of this is male, 30% is female. Cities, tier 1, tier 2, and some in tier 3. But very interesting is this, that these are students. These are first jobbers, and these are second jobbers. Somebody who has just graduated, huge aspiration, want to go for it. So this has been our consumer segmentation as far as Elite asset base is concerned. The next thing which we ask ourselves while we are doing this research, we also ask them, you anyway have Elite, whether it is Elite or Elite 2 or Elite Note, but which are those features which you like the most? If you were to rank 1, 2, 3, 4, because all of us have different needs. And basis, some of them it could be camera, Some of them, it could be size of the device. For somebody who is professional, he wants to browse all the time, he wants a bigger screen size. So we did all this research on a sample size of 7,000 and came up with this analysis wherein 94% of the people preferred 5-inch. 4.5 is become 5 now. And 5.5, some people still don't favor because it is not very compact. It is not a pocket-friendly phone, 5-inch. 5.5 inch. 5-inch is an apt size. Second is the camera. I think 5 years back, this was just not there. We used to have those VGA cameras, 0.3 MP cameras, 2 MP cameras, back cameras. And now we are talking about 8 MP, 12 MP, 13 MP cameras. 89% of them said that they prefer good camera. Processor and RAM 83%. 4G, again, very interesting. Though I feel as a country today, there is a lot of traction which is happening in 4G, LTE, VoLTE space. But if you go to towns, if you go to, even in city, if you go to certain parts, you still don't get 4G. You're still getting on 3G or the edge. But what is the beauty is people are aware. People want to be future ready. And that's why 72% of them said that they would like to go for 4G. And finally, I think last one is no-brainer. All of us face this challenge, which is battery. After almost 12, 1, 2 p.m. post-lunch, even I see in our office people carrying with power banks. If you go to airport, you hardly find any empty slots. Very excited today, ladies and gentlemen. The reason for which we are here today is Elite Plus, all-round sensation. All of the research what I talked about, there was a reason why we did this, and basis the research, basis the data, we wanted to build something which is truly unique. Truly, it actually addresses all the needs of today's youth. And we came up with something very interesting, what I'm going to talk in next few slides. So we are here, Elite Plus. It has got a 5-inch full HD display, 1920 by 1080 display. What is more important is the wide angle, the viewing angle is very wide because of the IPS display. It has got a dragon tail glass, so whether it is your keys, whether it is your markers, razors, it doesn't get any scratches. And the backlight is phenomenal. 5-inch display, this display is from Sharp. One other thing which I'll be talking about in next few slides is the selection of the component, because a lot of us ask this question, and I think this is a very interesting industry wherein the quality of the partner defines the quality of the product. Quality of the component defines the quality of the product. So this is very important. We did not want to compromise by any means. So we use Sharp display, of a 5-inch display, which is full HD from Sharp. Next is we wanted to create something which is truly light. And if I were to ask you, how many of you use wallet here? If you just raise your hand, wallet, carrying wallets. Wallet with cash, without cash, anything is okay. But basically, wallet, and if you take out your wallet and weigh and measure the weight, how much it weighs, or those of you who are wearing watches, timepieces, if you take it out and find out how much it weighs, or those of you who like to drink coffee, office, you measure what is the weight of the coffee cup. All of this you will find between 100 and 150 grams. And keeping that in mind, we designed this. This is 131 gram with premium jacquard polycarbonate body and a metal frame with a smooth texture, extremely gorgeous looking phone. This is a quick comparison of some of the top performing products in the country, all the way from Samsung J5 to Xiaomi Mi4 to Moto X and their respective weights. Next one is very important because I think here we have addressed till date, we worked on the aesthetics, we worked on the needs of the consumer. Now, what is the heart? Who is going to power this? Is it going to be MediaTek? Is it going to be Spectrum? Is it going to be RDA? Or it is going to be, which is one of the most prominent processor, the best processor probably in the country, which powers today most of the HTC phones, Sony phones, which is Qualcomm Snapdragon. So this is a very, very interesting device, which is Qualcomm Snapdragon. So device uses Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, 60-bit, 64-bit, and that too, not a quad core, but an octa-core. We have our friend and our partner from Qualcomm here, who will be talking in greater details about the processor. So may I invite Rohit, please, on stage. Come. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here, Shripal. It's really interesting to see the story of Swipe and all the features that we talked about here that the consumers love. Those are sort of powered by the processor. So you can cut across all the features, be the number one feature or the last feature, which is battery. Everything is defined by the processor. Very excited to see that this is based on 615 processor, which is a very good positioning in the high tier. We have 4 different tiers: 800 tier, 600 tier, 400 tier, and 200 tier. 615 sits right at the high tier, which is a good performance tier and providing at a right price point, basically. In terms of the most important features which are enabled by this, this is a proven and popular processor, which was the first 64-bit octa-core CPU, and it hosts third generation Cat4 LTE modem that is capable of delivering speeds up to 150 Mbps. It supports a full HD display, which can go up to 60 frames per second without any issues. Supports hardware encoding and decoding of videos. It also supports H.265, which provides a very unique way of recording and storing your videos in half the size. It also supports Wi-Fi display. So number of features here. Additionally, here you will see that this is a ARM V8 64-bit architecture, and it powers 8 Cortex A53 cores. 4 of them are actually run at 1.5 gigahertz, and the other cluster of 4 is run at 1 gigahertz. So a beautiful balance between power and performance. Cat4 LTE, this is a third generation modem, so very well proven. It is a word mode modem that can support all technologies, including CDMA and eVideo, along with 3G HSPA, LTE, and so on and so forth. LPDDR3 at 800 megahertz is supported from get-go, so just having a faster CPU is not good enough. You need a faster memory as well. This processor supports it, and that's a very, very important thing to consider. Camera experience, we saw that camera was also on the top of the list of features that the users love. 21 megapixel with a single ISP is supported, and there are many unique experiences that are supported using this phone, including photography under, say, low light, different lighting conditions, and so on and so forth. So a lot of things are driven essentially by the processor when you come to, say, camera, when it comes to battery, and so on and so forth. So very important to understand the power of the processor. Adreno GPU is uniquely positioned here with 2 important features. One is a hardware tessellation. Normally, when you do it in software, it consumes a lot of CPU, or it has an effect of creating drag on the graphics. But with hardware tessellations, you will see stunning, smooth graphics on this device, plus geometry shading, which is helpful in creating a lot of realistic effects. Another important thing is the location. Many times we depend upon our maps and navigation, etc. And this processor supports GPS, GLONASS, Baidu, and other technologies. So you can get fixes very quickly, and you can also have accurate navigation. I think it's a very exciting thing to see that 615 has been adopted on this Swipe Beauty. And I really wish all the best, Shripal.
Thank you, Sachin.
Yeah, and many congratulations.
Thank you very much. Fantastic. Thank you. So that was Qualcomm Snapdragon processor powering the octa-core processor which Swipe Elite has. It has got 2 GB RAM and 16 GB ROM. What is more interesting and important is this. Expandable is 64 GB. As a part of the Freedom OS, we have come up with an interesting concept which is called as Swipe Box. It's a 100 GB cloud storage which we are providing to our end consumer. So you have 2 plus 16, 2 GB RAM, 16 GB ROM, 64 GB is expandable. On top of that, there is 100 GB of cloud which we are providing through Swipebox. And all this at no cost. As I remember, when I came back from India and when I came back from US, and every time I would come in those December vacation, I would get something for the family. And I remember those days, I had gotten a 3.2 megapixel Canon camera, and it was a big deal. I come from a small town called Ichalkaranji, which is in Kolhapur district in Maharashtra, and it was a huge deal for people to see, camera, and that is coming from US and Canon, and this is 3.2 MP camera, and it brings smile on my face now when I see 13 MP, 15 MP, 21 MP camera, 5 MP, 8 MP. The world has really changed, and the pace at which this innovation is happening is phenomenal. And if you see this device, and I think we have display stands here and also at the back, I appeal all of you to have a look at the camera quality. We have done enough research, and for those of you who are interested, we'll be happy to share a competitive benchmarking data as well with you, whether it is with iPhone, whether it is with LTV, whether it is with the Xiaomi phones, showing the quality of the camera and how good it is. So it has 13 MP camera with a f2.0 aperture. What I'm going to show you right now is some of the pictures which we have taken with Elite Plus. Can I have AV, please? Some of the pictures which you saw right now, those pictures, some of them are in Goa, some of them are in Leh Ladakh. But what is interesting is, when you have a look at when you feel the product, you will realize it's got a very unique feature, and it's not about the software, it's about the hardware. Those of you who are into photography can relate to me. It has got a depth field sensing feature, which means when I am taking a picture and I want to focus, let's say, on chandelier, and I want to make the whole wall fade, I can do that. And let's say now I switch the gear, I want to take another picture, but I want to focus on the wall and make the whole chandelier very, very fade, which is a feature which is there in typically DSLR. Really cool camera which allows you to do all this. So you saw some of this feature, depth field sensing. I appeal all of you to have a look at it. You have to go into the manual mode and play with the zoom features and the depth field sensing features to see all of this. Really cool picture you can take, and all this with a very, very compact, sleek, lightweight device. Next is the selfies. I think this is in thing right now for last couple of years. Again, there was a time then that 2 MP camera became 5 MP camera, 5 MP camera became 8 MP camera. But I think the selfie craze has just gone absolutely crazy. If you see people all over the world taking selfies and posting it. So we really made an extra effort here to ensure the cameras which we give are truly world class. So on one side you saw processor from Qualcomm Snapdragon, display from Sharp. The camera which we have used is from Samsung. Superb quality. Have a look at this camera. And if you talk about the selfie camera which we are giving, it's a 8 MP selfie camera, 88-degree wide angle. And we will be happy to have a look at it, share a lot of selfies. There is a booth there, play with the device. And those of you who are carrying maybe the phones, let's say, a few other brands, including iPhone, I appeal all of you to have a look at it and do the competitive benchmarking. We have seen that not only in low light, but also in highlights and low lights. Throughout the day, if you take the selfies, they are far, far better than any of these brands. And can I have AV, please, to show this? So you saw morning 11 o'clock till 8 p.m., irrespective of the timing, with low lights, highlights, indoor, outdoor, still the quality of the images you get, you don't feel that this is selfie. So that is the power of the selfie camera, which is on the component level, at the camera module level, it has been powered by Samsung. Next important thing is the battery, which all of us face huge challenge when it comes to battery. Most of the smartphones today you see die pretty much by the afternoon. So you have 3-4 hours of usage and that's all. You have to again keep powering it on, or carry a power bank, or carry a standby phone. That's the reason, I was talking to some of our partners and I said, is there a reason so much tech is happening? So many smartphones are there. Why feature phones are selling in India? Out of 20 million, still 60% of it is feature phone, which is small, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, 1200 rupees feature phone. A lot of them gave the answer which is same. They said that smartphone today don't have enough battery which they can rely on. If somebody is traveling, whether it is taxi, if the battery dies, if there is no juice, they need something to kind of piggyback on, and hence they need standby phone. So most of the folks who carry this, they also carry one spare smartphone. So we wanted to avoid that and give one singular device and give one single solution which addresses all of these concerns. So despite being device which is so slim, and despite being the fact that it is only 131 gram, it still houses 3050 mAh battery. Now, if you see most of the phones, flagship, non-flagship, 5.5-inch device also, bigger display device, still it has 3000 mAh battery on an average. This device, despite being so compact, has 350 mAh lithium polymer battery. Or for an average use, it will last almost 2 days. This is the battery performance. So those of you who are into gaming, whether it is Asphalt 8, which is a very intense, high graphic games, whether it is music, whether it is HD videos which you play on your device, or whether it is the browsing, what you do, Facebook, Twitter, or you make calls. Doing all this intensely, non-stop, even if you do this, you still are at 49% of the battery. Extremely good performance when it comes to battery. The next thing is, Sachin did talk about it from the Qualcomm processor side, what kind of bands it support. But one very unique thing which is here, most of the devices, guys, supports 2G, 3G, 4G, VoLTE. This is very unique device. This supports not only 2G, 3G, 4G, VoLTE, but it also supports, some of you are still carrying the CDMA. Some of you who travel abroad still uses technologies. Let's say, for instance, in US, print is still on a different technology altogether. So it also supports EVDO and CDMA in the same SIM card. Very, very unique feature. Next thing is, we got a great device, processor from Qualcomm, display from Sharp, glass from Dragontail, camera from Samsung, and a very, very high powered marathon battery, which is 3050 mAh. What about the post-sale supports? So we got 410 service centers across the country. We are present in more than 80 cities. That's about the post-sales. And what I discussed till now is about the hardware. As much as we believe in hardware, we are probably one of the few brands which also believes very strongly in the software and what is the power of software, whether it is apps, services, ecosystem, user interface. So we built our own OS, which is on top of stock Android. We did not want to fiddle the stability and the flexibility of Android, which has got tons of features to customize, whether it is animation, font, sizing, apps. It has 100 GB of cloud storage, which we are giving it to end consumer at no cost. Rashmi did talk about gestures, and how cool this importance of gestures. So we have swipe gesture app. Through that, you can configure certain gesture. If you want to open WhatsApp, you just swipe up your finger, you can do that. You don't have to type W, which is actually off-screen gesture. What I'm talking about is the amalgamation of off-screen gesture as well as the on-screen gesture. Very, very unique thing which is integrated in the Freedom OS. Integrated utility apps, which is like Swipe Cleaner, and the theming engines, which is themes, wallpaper, and the fonts. We keep improving this OS. We keep releasing the OTA updates or the FOTA updates, whether it is to reduce the memory footprint. We also introduced this feature recently, which is app level sizing, because standard Android, stock Android today doesn't allow If you want to increase the size, let's say my grandfather is at home and he still today on feature phone, doesn't want to shift, very resistant to shift, because those keys, those big size keys, he's very comfortable. Because for smartphone, he thinks the fonts are too small. You cannot increase the app size and the app level font size in any stock Android or none of in the Google Android. What we have gone one level ahead and we have allowed this feature wherein you can increase this, go to that and use different sizes. You can make it smaller, you can increase it, better UI, and also keep fixing bugs as our user keeps giving us the feedback, keep on fixing them. So when you see the device, if you long press on the device, this Freedom OS will appear and you can play with it, and I will just show you the demo here. So this is the device, and if you long press this, you will see the swipe customize, and through swipe customize, you can see all this feature, animation effects, fonts effects, styling effects. So basis your personality, if you are a student, if you want a casual look, you can use the whole thing which is into that form. Wallpaper, themes, icons. If you are a professional, if you want a different look, very clean, very neat, you can do that. This is a very interesting feature which we are unveiling, which is called as Swipe Finder. Now, another big challenge which people have today is to find stuff on smartphone. They have downloaded it. So much of data coming in every day, so many pictures, good morning, good evening, WhatsApp, so many of them coming in. I want to search my data. How do I search my data? Where do I know? So this is single touch taskbar. If you just take your finger up, if you have a phone, you just move your finger up, this bar will appear here, and you can just type whatever you want. The first row will be apps. Second, it will search in your contacts. So let's say I want to call Rajiv. So I just write Rajiv, and the first thing will be if there is any app, it will show. Second thing will be contacts. So I don't have to go to contacts and then search and then type. It saves the number of steps. It also searches name Rajiv as in SMS as well. And then it also searches name Rajiv on web, on a single page. So that's the beauty of this device. A very interesting feature, Swipe Finder. So to sum it up, it's not only about the hardware, but also about the software and the operating system and the user interface. Swipe Elite Plus with octa-core Snapdragon processor, 5-inch Full HD display, 13+8 Samsung camera, 3050 mAh battery, powered by Freedom OS with 2 GB plus 16 GB RAM ROM. Now, all this, we have seen a super duper power pack performance at the device level and top of the top world-class component usage. Now, if I benchmark this against what is currently available for user with similar kind of supply chain, with similar kind of components level, the answer is this. So you have Google Nexus, you have HTC One M9, you have Sony, you have Motorola, Asus, Samsung J56, Xiaomi Mi4i, and then you have Swipe. So if you see, not only Swipe has Full HD display, which some of them don't have, you also have octa-core processor, which some of them are only quad-core. Cloud storage is additional thing. There are also one more feature here. This also supports OTG. So those of you who want to transfer data from pen drive to here and there, this device also supports OTG. It also supports the CDMA video technology. Very slim, lightweight, big battery, Swipe Elite Plus. So you have range all the way starting from 25,999 all the way to 12,000 rupees, but that's with quad-core processor. So we come to summarize this. So what's the next thing? Next thing is, guess the price. So we start with 26,000 rupees with similar or lower level of components, similar or lower spec, and then we have gone all the way to almost 12 to 16,000 rupees, kind of a price band. Any guesses? 15K, 13,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees, 12,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees. Let's see what do we have in store for all of us. Swipe Elite Plus with Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, guys, coming to you at rupees 6,999. It is the true disruptor in the whole country. This is what we believe, and this is what we want to give it to our end consumer. Highly non-compromised product at an incredible price point, making it India's most disruptive offering. presenting to you Swipe Elite Plus at 6,999. So just for your edification, if I were to compare, this is another look. So you can see different brands, different products, different models. What really differentiates? Not only this, but you also have Freedom OS and 100 GB of cloud storage, which comes inbuilt with it. The whole idea is we want to empower today's youth with high-end gadgets without compromising the quality of experience. Because one school of thought says, hey, I want to build this device, so let me compromise on the quality. So instead of full HD, can I give FWEGA display? Instead of 13 MP camera, can I give 5 MP camera? The other school of thought says, I don't want to compromise, but still, I want to give the top of the top and world-class product. Elite Plus 6,999. Now, next question is when it is going to be available, where it is going to be available, how it is going to be available. This will be available on Flipkart from June 6th onward. Ladies and gentlemen, Elite Plus at 6,999 will be available from 6th of June onwards, only on Flipkart. Again, this is another offering from Swipe, talking not only about the product and the price, but also it also talks about the strength of the partnership which we have with Flipkart. That from day one, we've been very, very focused in terms of bolstering the partnership with Flipkart. Flipkart team, Swipe team working really cohesively, irrespective of the timing, whether it is 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night, but ensuring that we build something which is truly awesome for our end consumer and people in India. So what I'm going to do now is, can we have an AV please?